Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to Shloka Day. Today's shlokas are shlokas 6 and 7, chapter 12. Yetu sarvani karmani
Yedu sarvani karmani
Mai sanyasya matparaha
Mai samnyasya matparaha
Ananyenaiva yogena
Ananyenaiva yogena
Mam dhyayanta upasate
Mam dhyayanda upasade
Tesham aham samudharta
Tesham aham samurdhartha
Mrityu samsara sagarat
Mrityu samsara sagarat
Bhavami nachirat partha
Bhavami nachirat partha
Maya veshita chetasam.
Maya veshida chedasam.
Word for word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Ye,
Ye,
those who,
those who
tu,
do, but
sarvani,
sarvani,
all,
all
karmani,
karmani,
activities,
activities,
mai,
my
unto me,
to me,
sanyasya,
samnasya,
giving up,
giving up,
matparaha,
matparaha,
being attached to me,
being attached to me,
ananyena,
ananyena,
without division,
without division,
eva,
eva,
certainly,
certainly,
yogena,
yogena,
by practice of such bhakti yoga,
by practice of such bhakti yoga,
mam,
upon
me, dhyayantaha,
ayandaha,
meditating, upasate,
pasade,
worship, tesham,
esham,
of them, aham, I, samudharta, the deliverer, mrityu, of death, samsara, in material existence, sagarat, from the ocean, bhavami, I become, na, not, chirat, after a long time, partha, O son of Pritha, mai, upon me, aveshita, fixed, chetasam, of those whose minds. Translation: but those who worship me, giving up all their activities, unto me, and being devoted to me, without deviation, engaged in devotional service, and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pritha, for them, I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. So Krishna has contrasted the devotees who worship his personal form versus those who worship the formless aspect of the absolute truth, and given his verdict as to who is perfect. Of course, the devotee worshipping his personal form is perfect. So Krishna is saying here what his devotees are doing, that they are always thinking about him, their minds are always fixed on him, and because they are doing this, what is the Lord doing in return? We read yesterday that there is no mercy that one can invoke of the Supreme Lord when you're practicing Jnana Yoga. But you can invoke the mercy of the Lord when you're practicing Bhakti Yoga. So for those who have faith in the Lord and stick to this process without any doubts, then the Lord says He Himself will deliver you from the ocean of birth and death, which means that it's the cat carrying its kitten in its mouth. So the Lord Himself transports you back to the spiritual. So Prabhupada has written the detailed purport because this is such an important shloka for devotees. I swiftly deliver those who worship my form. It is explicitly stated here that the devotees are very fortunate to be delivered very soon from material existence by the Lord. In pure devotional service, one comes to the realization that God is great and that the individual soul is subordinate to Him. His duty is to render service to the Lord. And if he does not, then he will render service to Maya. As stated before, the Supreme Lord can be appreciated only by devotional service. Therefore, one should be fully devoted. One should fix his mind fully on Krishna in order to achieve him. One should work only for Krishna. It does not matter in what kind of work one engages, but that work should be done only for Krishna. That is the standard of devotional service. The devotee does not desire any achievement other than pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His life's mission is to please Krishna, and he can sacrifice everything for Krishna's satisfaction, just as Arjuna did in the battle of Kurukshetra. The process is very simple. One can devote himself in his occupation and engage at the same time in chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Such transcendental chanting attracts the devotee to the personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord herein promises that without delay he will deliver a pure devotee thus engaged from the ocean of material existence. Those who are advanced in yoga practice can willfully transfer the soul to whatever planet they like by the yoga process, and others take the opportunity in various ways. But as far as the devotee is concerned, it is clearly stated here that the Lord Himself takes him. So both for Jnana Yogis and Dhyana Yogis, they are on their own. No help from the Lord. No assistance from the Lord. Only for devotees the Lord steps in to help them. The devotee does not need to wait to become very experienced in order to transfer himself to the spiritual sky. In the Varaha Purana, this verse appears, Nayami paramam sthanam achiradi gatim vina garudaskandham aropya yathecham anivaritaha. The purport of this verse is that a devotee does not need to practice Ashtanga Yoga in order to transfer his soul to the spiritual planets. The responsibility is taken by the Supreme Lord Himself. He clearly states here that He Himself becomes the deliverer. A child is completely cared for by his parents, and thus his position is secure. Similarly, a devotee does not need to endeavor to transfer himself by yoga practice to other planets. Rather, the Supreme Lord, by His great mercy, comes at once, riding on His bird carrier Garuda, and at once delivers the devotee from material existence. Prabhupada is thinking about Gajendra here. Although a man who has fallen in the ocean may struggle very hard and may be very expert in swimming, he cannot save himself. But if someone comes and picks him up from the water, then he is easily rescued. Similarly, The Lord picks up the devotee from this material existence. One simply has to practice the easy process of Krishna consciousness and fully engage himself in devotional service. Any intelligent man should always prefer the process of devotional service to all other paths. In the Narayaniya, this is actually a part of the Mahabharata. This is confirmed as follows. Yavai sadhana sampattihi purushartha chatushtaye taya vina tadapnoti naro narayanashrayah. The meaning of this is that one should not engage in the different processes of fruitive activity or cultivate knowledge by the mental speculative process. One who is devoted to the Supreme Personality can attain all the benefits derived from other yogic processes, speculation, rituals, sacrifices, charities, etc. That is the specific benediction of devotional service. So simply by practicing Bhakti Yoga, you get the benefits of practicing Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. A devotee of the Lord can approach the supreme destination easily and happily, but this destination cannot be approached by any other process of religion. The conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is stated in the 18th chapter, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Ma Shucha. One should give up all other processes of self-realization and simply execute devotional service in Krishna consciousness. That will enable one to reach the highest perfection of life. There is no need for one to consider the sinful actions of his past life, because the Supreme Lord fully takes charge of him. Therefore, one should not futilely try to deliver himself in spiritual realization. Let everyone take shelter of the Supreme Omnipotent Godhead Krishna. That is the highest perfection of life. So we'll read two commentaries by His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. What is the difference between impersonal and personal worship? Although we covered it yesterday, we'll just relook at that here. So here Krishna is telling the difference between meditating on him and meditating on impersonal. Impersonal, there cannot be any reciprocation. That is what the word also indicates, impersonal. Example, if a person is climbing through a rope and a rope is tied to impersonal thing, he has to put all effort and coming out of pulling himself up. But if the rope is in the hand of a person, that person also helps. He will also pull us and we can also try from our side. If we are not able to try from our side, we are so weak, but we have a desire to come out, that person can still help us by pulling us. That is the difference between impersonal and personal aspect. Like that, Krishna says, Aham Samuddhartha. I become the swift deliverer. And he is highlighting that this process is easier because I intervene personally in favor of my devotees. Sridhar Swami gives explanation here that Krishna personally gives spiritual knowledge which is required by devotees. By this knowledge, devotees become disentangled. So even making progress on the path of bhakti through your sadhana, bhakti process, Krishna is helping you every step of the way. That is Krishna's mercy. Aham Samuddharta. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad has said that Krishna not only gives knowledge, but he also intervenes in the life of a devotee, intervenes in the most glorious way. As he has mentioned in Yoga Kshemam Mahamyaham, Aham, he is saying, I. So the Lord is taking personal responsibility for his devotees. What does Krishna's promise of deliverance mean really for Arjuna? In the Bhagavad Gita's 12th chapter, 12.7, Krishna declares that he personally delivers from the ocean of material existence those who devotedly fix their minds on him. In this verse, Krishna's specific usage of not after a long time, nachirat, suggests that this deliverance can refer to Krishna's interventions in the immediate future. Example, in the war at Kurukshetra, Krishna is going to step in. Echoing such an allusion, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 1, Shlokas 5 to 7, compares the Kaurava army to a vast ocean and declares Krishna's mercy to be Arjuna's deliverer from that ocean. Perhaps this ocean metaphor applies most aptly to the 14th day's war. On that day, Arjuna had vowed to neutralize Jayadratha, the warrior most responsible for the brutal slaughter of Arjuna's son, Abhimanyu. Arjuna's vow had a critical deadline. He would kill Jayadratha before sunset, or he would himself enter fire to end his life. To thwart Arjuna, the Kauravas arranged their entire army in a formidable formation that extended over several miles and seemed like an ocean. Though Arjuna fought fiercely on that day, far more fiercely than ever before, it was not enough. He still needed Krishna's timely guidance to avoid unnecessary confrontations, survive impossible odds, and break through impenetrable barriers. And finally, he succeeded in the nick of time, only due to Krishna's mystical intervention. Using his divine disk Sudarshana, Krishna temporarily covered the sun, thereby inducing the prematurely exultant Kauravas, which means the Kauravas were celebrating that Arjuna was not successful, thereby inducing the prematurely exultant Kauravas to lower their guard and thus giving Arjuna the elusive opportunity to fell Jayadratha. When we fix our mind on Krishna, we may not necessarily experience similar miraculous mercy, but we may experience a mystical clearing of our consciousness, a form of inner guidance or inner illumination, as mentioned in the Chatushloke, Shlokas 10 and 11 of chapter 10, that can show us a way ahead, even if we are confronted by an ocean of obstacles. Fixing our mind on Krishna cannot only deliver us from the world, it can also deliver us the insight necessary to face the world. So any intelligence that one needs to overcome difficult situations or testing times for us, that also comes through Krishna. God may be unreachable to us, but we are never unreachable to him. Please him with our desire and endeavor, and he will reach us. So there are multiple analogies that His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu has written. So he has written 8 or 9 different commentaries on this particular shloka. So I just picked up some analogies from all his different commentaries, like the father and toddler analogy. If the toddler wants to be picked up by the father, if the toddler wants to go to the father's shoulder, he cannot climb up the father's legs and middle section and go up on his own. He just needs to raise his arm and the father will bend down to pick up the child. Similarly, we simply have to raise our arms, begging for the mercy of the Lord, and the Lord will pick us up. Similarly, when we are in a desert, we may be lost and we may be overtaken by a lot of mirages that suggest that here is water, there is water, there is water. Every time we reach that place, there is actually no water. But at the same time, if we had an expert guide when we are traveling to the desert, then he will guide us to where the actual water source is, so that we are not overcome by our own illusions that says that we have the strength to take care of ourselves and we have the strength to deliver ourselves. We don't have that strength. Very, very few people will have that kind of strength to go back to the spiritual world on their own. So Krishna is saying here I am taking personal responsibility for my devotees. He has already stated that in chapter 10. He is reiterating that here in chapter 12, saying that for his devotees, he is the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death.
If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you'd like to join our classes every day, please check the details in the description section of this video. We look forward to serving you.